What's up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Koby's system is about adaptation, attacking fast and strong. You're at the top of your games. Where do you go from the top? You go over the top.
Powerful stuff.
You're welcome. Welcome to the Koby system.
Savage.
And we're back. One Piece 1088 is out, and we're officially done with the Hachinosu segment of this Egghead sabbatical. And Oda starts us off with some math piece. If there are two boats, and one is going at 160 miles per hour south, but the other boat is traveling at 120 miles northeast, right? With the wind behind it and the sun in its eyes, and also it's being driven by a cat, who gets to Laugh Tale first and at what time? Right, that's a stumper on the SAT. Kidding aside, it is an allegory. One that the series has used plenty of times. Not literally used it a bunch of times, but this idea of planting seeds for future generations. Seeds that will bear fruit that you're not going to taste. What Garp is trying to get across to Koby in this beginning scene, which is relevant to the entire chapter as a whole, so there is sort of a thematic beginning, middle, and end for this entire chapter, is, okay, if there's a bunch of, beasts that are attacking some people, and there is an old man, and, like the end of Titanic, the door is only going to fit one person, but in this case, this boat fits two people, what are you going to do? Koby, a self-sacrificing type person, is like, well, I'm going to let them have the boat, and I'm going to jump into the water and die like Jack. No. Garp is saying you leave the old man behind. You get in the boat with the baby. Every one of Garp's kids, and his literal kids, are his seeds. He may consider some of them rotten, but they are all fighting for the same things that he is. Freedom and equality. Koby was told 2 years ago, you leave the old man behind and you put the child in the boat. And you can see Kuzan in the background kind of doing his and he's probably thinking about the time that Garp told him those same words, and I want that flashback eventually. And it may come at a pivotal moment because Kuzan has already done that. He's already lived this out during Ohara. He left Saul, who was definitely an old man, at least in comparison to him, because giants live for so long, and he put the child, Nico Robin, in the boat. He didn't get in the boat with her, but he let her go. And now he's responsible for her actions, which will be the end game, trajectory for Kuzan's story. And I would love a moment where Kuzan has to kind of replay that, reverse that in some sort of way where maybe he's protecting Robin again, or he's in a position where he's got to fight Robin. Either way, any sort of scenario, preferably protect. We get a flashback to Garp, young Garp, telling Kuzan the same thing that he was telling young Koby. As far as that allegory goes for today, Garp was that old man, and he needed to be left behind, and let's talk about why. But first, like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. So dear old Marshall, right, he wants to get into the good graces of the top brass at Marijoa. And at first, he was willing to use an entire battleship filled with 800 Marines that he was going to use as slaves as a bargaining chip to get what he wants, right? Hachinosu recognized as a nation. Give him access. And also, let's just note that certified bum Yamakaji was completely okay with this. I'm not going up against an emperor, I just got depetrified. I'm looking out for number one, right? But Koby steps in and he says, no, use me. Which is completely against what Garp told him to do. This is Koby choosing to jump into the water and letting everybody else get into the boat. This is why Garp had to go and save Koby in the first place. Because he didn't listen. The same way that Ace didn't listen. And look what happened there. In that scenario, Ace died. His mentor, Whitebeard, died as well. Both characters in this situation are alive for now, right? I don't think that Garp is dead. Get into that. The situation here is still dire. In the same way that Blackbeard was after Luffy initially. Go back to the pre-time skip. He wasn't looking for Ace. Ace was looking for Blackbeard. Blackbeard was looking for Luffy. Fate gave Blackbeard Ace, and Blackbeard was like, oh, actually, you're a better bargaining chip, right? In the same way that our boy Marshall, he had a ship of 800 people, but it was like, these guys are no names. You have a name. Okay, yeah, I'll take you. But then now, Fate is giving him Garp on a platter. When he loses, he wins. He lost Koby, but now he's got Garp. And Garp is going to be a way better bargaining chip when he's going to the top brass of Marijoa anyway, because Garp knows things. And Blackbeard also has Pudding, and if they know what Pudding's power is, they may be worried about what might be extracted from that person's mind. God Valley, secrets of the government, anything. This is the story reason for having the Memo fruit in the first place. I'm here for it. Let's do it. At the end of this chapter, we see Garp impaled by ice, in the exact same spot, mind you, that Garp got stabbed by Shiryu the Rain. Coincidence? Savagery? I think not. This is how Garp gets out of this situation, okay? This could very well be a facade. And just like the ice time capsule didn't actually kill Saul, I think maybe Garp just has an icicle coming out of his chest for show for everybody else that's around. Or it actually is going through Garp, but what it's also doing in some weird way, you know, and this is not necessarily exactly how science works, right? But it may be doing some sort of cauterization of the wound, right? What he's actually doing is keeping Garp alive. Now, cauterizing a wound would be, you know, like stopping the bleeding with heat. But maybe there's a way to do that, and I didn't look up the science of it all, but maybe there's a way to do that with complete ice as well, because you can get ice burns as well. So what if Kuzan is ice cauterizing the wound?
Yes, science!
That's how we keep Garp alive, and we eventually get to that panel that a lot of people have been waiting for. Luffy in the middle, Dragon and Garp on either side of him, the monkey family against the world government. It can still happen now. Does Garp still die by the end of the story? Probably. But if he does, it should be in front of Luffy. Garp's has done everything he can do and needs to do for Koby. That part of it's done now. And if Kuzan is still the same man, like he told Smoker at the end of Punk Hazard, he will do whatever it takes to protect Garp in this situation. That's his dad, okay? In the same way that Whitebeard is Ace's dad, and Shanks is Luffy's dad, and Zeph is Sanji's dad, and Genzo is Nami's dad, Hiruluk is Chopper's dad, Corazon is Law's dad, Tom is Frankie's dad, Roger was Shanks and Buggy's dad, Rox was probably Kaido's dad, you know, in this idea of your real dad is the person that raised you and not the person that birthed you, right? So in this situation, Kuzan was trained by Garp and spent a lot of time with him and emulates his being. The relationship that he has with Kuzan is deeper than the relationship he has with Dragon. I guarantee it. And the relationship he has with Koby is deeper than the relationship he has with Luffy.
Where's my dad? I'm all alone. I'm too small to be here on my own.
Will they try to turn Garp into the Cross Guild is a fun idea to kind of explore. There's a lot of wacky and fun possibilities that I'm not necessarily going to get into now, but it's a fun thought. And it would give reasoning to why we were shown Garp's bounty poster in the first place. Let's talk about Koby, right? Because this whole chapter was about Koby. Every flashback was about Koby. Everything was about Koby gas. We're gassing up Koby right now. And people seem to be confused as to why and how could this character be important? How could this character that was introduced in Chapter 2 be important? Probably because he was introduced in Chapter 2. He was always intended to be important. Just because Oda zigs and zags and goes into all these different places never changed the fact that Koby was always going to get gassed up in some form or fashion. And now we're seeing him in full beast mode, replicating Garp's advanced Conqueror's move, right? Whether he's using advanced Conqueror's Haki or not, it doesn't matter. He's definitely using some form of Conqueror's Haki, and he is busting down what Cannon Fire couldn't. Because also Koby was doing Battleship Bags. Okay, the gas is incredible. Oda is letting you know that Koby can hang in the endgame. That's what this chapter's about. When we see Koby doing feats in the endgame, that's what this chapter was about. You see, this is all about removing that little voice in Koby's head. That's what all of this was about for Garp. He set up a plan, really strategically, love that, to get them onto the ship. It's like Whitebeard telling all of the Whitebeard pirates to leave him behind. It's over and done with, except in this situation, Garp's not going to die yet. Now, Oda could be a true savage and in 1089 show Blackbeard, arriving to Hachinosu, and we have to get a conversation between Blackbeard and Garp. Now, that would be kind of crazy. Blackbeard's going to see the usage in Garp. And anyway, I said we were talking about Koby, and I went back to Garp. Luffy doesn't have that voice in his head, that voice that says, I can't do something, but Koby does. So now that is gone. Garp has given Koby the confidence to shatter that. And I think that we're seeing that on the page. When he's punching Pizarro, he is shattering the voice that is telling him that he can't do things. And when we see Koby next time, he's going to be a man of action. Battleship Bags might be the best training system in Shonen right now. Another thing to note about this chapter is that there were a lot of people that were being tossed around as the person that will stop Pizarro's hand. People were saying Kuzan will jump in and out himself. People were saying Moria will show up and repay Koby for letting him out, but we still don't know if he actually ever was still on Hachinosu in the first place. I had a comment saying Mihawk would come out of nowhere and slice the arm, as like a Pika callback, which I actually really loved, and I think there would have been a lot of really neat things to come from the Cross Guild actually getting involved in all of this mess, because then, if Mihawk was coming back to get Perona, and then they get Moria onto the Cross Guild. But this was always about Koby, right? There were people saying that Bogard would jump out and cut the arm. What do we need to hype up Bogard for at this particular time? I'm sorry to the Bogard stans, or, the one Bogard stan, Parvision, my man. Sorry. This just isn't Bogard's time. He may still do something in the story, but it's hard to stay relevant with so many characters for Oda to service. And the main thing is, who's going to be there in the endgame? It's going to be Koby. So having Koby do this, having Gruss play a role, who Gruss is really becoming one of my favorite characters, and Helmeppo also playing a role here. There's a lot of other characters to service, like it would have been nice to see Tashigi do something, because I do feel like she's going to play some role in the endgame, but it apparently wasn't her time to shine here. This is Koby's time. Pink Mamba. Mamba mentality. You're welcome.
But are you a different animal and the same beast? You're welcome.
We're back to Egghead soon with 1089, and as usual, we will be there no matter what. And I need the Smoker agenda to come true, I need the Zoro and Bonnie agenda, I need the Vivian Morgan's agenda at the end of the arc. There's a lot of agendas riding in Egghead, and I'm excited for all of it. The incident is going to be crazy. Things are only going to kick up from here, and I'll have potentially a separate video for all of that. And that's going to wrap things up, guys. Thanks so much, everybody that supports the channel, everybody that's been supporting Chrissy and I throughout the Writers Guild of America strike, and now the Screen Actors Guild strike. Hoping that it ends soon, but it won't end until we win. Conviction. And for anybody else that would like to support the channel, I am selling some of my figures, not all of them, not cleaning the shelves, but I do have some statues that are in the description. The store is back with old designs. I'm going to see about bringing back the Nika design as well, because we got to get the Gear 5 hype going. And shout out to all of the members, new and old. We did get a bunch of members over the break and everything, so I'm going to go through those names now. Appreciate all of you. Like, comment, subscribe if you are feeling the vibe. Shout out to DJ Red Comet 369, Tribe, Sheesh, Killer Comedy TV, Kakia09, Abalash Madov M, Cade Feldmeyer, Drew Carmian, Alexander, Demon Gunner 7, Ryo, Kevin Abwao, Chinho Wong, Sabas Lopez, Legendary Boss Hunter, Vernon Co., Big Cheap, Dingleverse, Mark Creasy, Third Eye Guy, Michael Lacoste, Jay Kapak, Glitcher Black, Emmanuel Blue, Roland V Dub, Soft Egg, The Panda, Roroni Kenshin, Patrick D. Funky, Mig Donalds, Octane, Eduardo Mora, Stephanie Lopez, Henry D.H., Austin R.H., Mr. Reefer Roller, Sante Rip, Gabriel Horn, Hassan Z, Rickert, Bambi M, Anime AMV, Adamisk, J-Man, Wyatt Peeling, Afrain Inu, Ibani Art, Samantha, Tigra, Gulshan Darn, Bypass Bear, Arari, Tyrone Will, Hash Gerard, Shmidi G, DJ BJ32, Jonathan RK, Cosmos, Daj, Tiago Becerra, G. Milla, Jeffrey Ortiz, Don Masama, Lubu Killu, Potato Tim, Doran Ross Tuvia, Nasty Ninja 808, Mike Locke, Freewari 4, Ben Wright, Honk World, Fable, Dax Sake, Noob Phil, and Lydia Raven. Thank you guys, and to everybody that has been a member for longer than that, you are appreciated as well. See you guys soon.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.